Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am the host of the Madaraka Podcast, and we are here inside the Seattle Drum School of Music in the south end of downtown Seattle, Washington. And I am so excited to be here with my brother, Luis Rodriguez, who is the man behind the Station Coffee Shop in Seattle. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, Simon. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing great. I'm really privileged to have you here. I think this has been many years in the making, you know.
Many. Over 5 years, right?
I know.
We've been trying to get together.
I know.
But like I said earlier, this is the perfect time, right? We have built our empire slowly.
Yeah.
5 years would have been great, but 5 years later is better.
100%.
Right?
100%.
The love and respect that we have for each other, you know, and what we have built in this community, in our city, has been powerful, and I'm I'm grateful to be here.
Man, just really an honor, because for me, I was raised by an entrepreneurial mother. You know, my mother was a hustler. She worked at the hospital in Kenya as an orthopedic technician, fixing broken bones, you know. But after work every day, she started by selling beans and maize on the roadside. Wow. And then she grew that business, and she became the biggest distributor of milk and bread in our city, in our whole city, you know. So everybody that wanted milk, they knew where to get it. Everybody that wanted bread, they knew where to get it, you know.
And that was that goat or a cow?
A cow.
Wow.
Yeah. So growing up under such a hardworking and hustling mother is really who I would say most of my inspiration is drawn from that, you know.
Same.
Yeah. So one of the things I want us to talk about is really where your inspiration to do all the incredible work you do. For those who are watching, the podcast for the first time, and those who are hearing the Station Coffee for the first time, this brother has built something really beautiful. He has, a beautiful spot that everybody loves to go. In fact, I used to come to the old Station Coffee.
Back in the days. We opened that in 2010.
Yeah.
14 years ago now.
Yeah.
We are the OGs now.
Yeah, man. But take us back to where you grew up and how you ended up in Seattle, and why Seattle.
Oh man, this is a beautiful long story, but so I'm from Baja California, Mexico. A lot of people, when I say Baja California, they think is United States because the name California, but that's Baja stands for lower, so we are Lower California. And as you all know, history and geography, California used to be part of Mexico, as Texas and Arizona and blah blah blah.
Right.
So that's the only part that stayed from Mexico, which is Baja California.
Wow.
So I'm from southern, California, but it's Mexico.
Wow.
So I grew up in Mexico. My parents, my father is from Oaxaca, Mexico. Mm-hmm. Oaxaca forever. Mm-hmm.
And that's like Wakanda.
Oaxaca, because it's with an X too. And my mother's from Sinaloa, which many of us know. Sinaloa is a beautiful place, but it's where the drug cartel started.
Yeah, the Sinaloa cartel.
The powerful Sinaloa cartel, right? Yeah. So that's where my mother's from. I've been there many times and stuff, but. Coffee, man. Coffee. I started coffee because of the love of, my father used to give us coffee. It was 9 of us, brothers and sisters. I'm the youngest one of the family. So at the age of like 5, my dad used to wake us up really early in the morning, each one. And I used to be, 5 years old. I remember the first time I drank a cup of coffee. And in Mexico, we call it café con leche, which is tiny coffee with a lot of milk. But that's how he'll give it to us because we were babies, right?
Right.
But so I used to wake up with him at 5, 6 in the morning, drink coffee for school, and listen to the news on the radio. And like even though we had obviously TV and everything, like the radio for him was something that was very important for him to teach us to be like, yo, you need to expand your imagination, right? And we don't do that, right? Like, because you have to be like, oh man, like imagine what is the guy talking about, or how, like, picture that mentally, right?
Right.
And I think that that's really beautiful, like reading a book, right? Like reading a book is like you're reading it and you're making the whole imagination in your head.
Right.
Same with radio. So that was, my dad used to do that to us. So so for me, coffee represents my father. It represents like my culture, but also like every morning till this day, I'm 46 years old. It's been 41 years, let's say, since I tasted the first cup of coffee. The moment I taste that coffee, automatically, right away, I go home. I think about my father.
Yeah.
Like the first taste, I'm like, Dad.
Yeah.
That's my father, right?
Wow.
So that's the first love that I have for coffee.
Right.
My father, my mother, because my mom will be up with us, and she'll be cooking, and he just made the coffee.
Right.
The second one is because I was blessed to meet this beautiful woman who's my wife right now, Leona Rodriguez. We met in high school in 94, 95. And she's African American. I have always been in love with black culture. And I mean black culture because I mean everybody who's black from all over the world, right?
Right.
I remember growing up, my father used to talk to me about like Pelé, you know.
Right.
Talk to me about Muhammad Ali. Talk to
Right.
me about Mandela. You know, like so all of Bob Marley, right?
Right.
So I grew up in 1977. So I got to see and hear and all these amazing human beings, and I was like, there's something about black culture that was amazing to me, because I just remember my father, I was telling me like the best everything was black. So
Right.
so I never had like a bad I don't know what's the word, but like since being Mexican, I was like, this must be it, right? So when I came to United States, I was surrounded by a lot of white kids, but slowly I got to, be around my black friends, and they were the ones that accepted me right away. The funny thing about it is that being here in United States and having a very, I had an like thick accent because I was learning how to. I mean, I still have an accent, but white kids were like, "Oh, you're pronouncing this wrong, ha ha." Latino kids will do the same.
Yeah.
Like make little fun of you because that's what we do. But I remember being 13 years old, and there was this girl named Shamala, black, and she's like, "I love your accent. I love your accent." And like, I always felt like, oh, okay, this my accent is not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some people say it's like, how come your accent's still here? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like mentally or psychologically. I never want to get rid of it.
Yeah, you stayed true.
Right.
You stayed true, and that's hard.
Right.
That's hard. A lot of people ask me about that, especially when I go back to Africa.
Yeah.
When I go to the village,
Right.
deep in the village where people speak in my mother tongue.
Right.
I speak my mother tongue better than young people who live there.
Right.
And so elders say, how come you have traveled and you're talking to us fluently?
Yeah.
And this one here,
Can't even speak.
this one just talks in English,
Wow.
Talk to your relative, talk to your
Right.
cousin,
Yeah.
And then I laugh,
Right. Same here. I
Yeah.
speak Spanish to my whole family.
Yeah.
I go back when I go back to Mexico. I speak to and
Yeah.
sometimes of course I have a little, how do you say that? Because I'm surrounded by English speaking people around me. So So anyways, going back to coffee. So with meeting my wife in 1994, 95, I knew I loved coffee. I knew I that's what I wanted to do. I don't know. There was something about coffee that brought me. When I was older, like in 1995, I was 17 years old. My brother asked me about opening a coffee shop, and we opened a coffee shop when I was 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
That was the first coffee shop. It was called Java Love, and with time became Baja Bistro. So in 2010, when I Par away, let's say, business with my brother, I opened my first coffee shop. So 14 years ago, the station. And the reason why I did coffee is because I didn't want to do the same thing that because I'm Mexican, I should be opening a Mexican restaurant, right? I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted to do something that represents me. And most importantly, something that I did my research and something that represents my children. I wanted to live, I wanted to make them proud, and I wanted to make them, I wanted to leave a legacy for them. And coffee, after doing my research, coffee was discovered in Ethiopia 700-800 years ago, maybe more, right? And then it was brought to different places like Kenya. These. And brought to the Americas. So coffee only grows in black and brown places in the whole entire world. There's not one single European country that coffee grows. Coffee grows in around the equator line, and it has to be very warm places and high places. So there's something powerful about coffee, right? That coffee is ours, belongs to black and brown people, so for me that was it was something that I can live for, for my kids to be this is drinking our ancestors liquid, and I'm pretty sure that was something more powerful than just coffee.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that indigenous folks in Ethiopia were using them for something else.
Right. From what I gather, coffee was discovered inside a monastery. Where the priests and the spiritual leaders, where they train and where they live.
Right.
And it was actually not even discovered by them. It was discovered by goats.
That's what I heard. They find out that the goats were eating them and just getting super hyper.
So they were like, oh, let's find out. Yeah. And I think that's what we don't have these days as human beings. We don't study. Not all of us, but most of us don't study the animals around us.
Right.
And discover the world through the eyes of these animals.
Right.
Look at the behavior of the birds.
Right.
What are they saying about the rain that is coming? What about the climate? What about the dogs we have in our house? Right. What are they saying about our house? Anyway. Yeah, so you're in Seattle.
Yes.
You came from Mexico. You settled in Seattle. You met your girlfriend in high school that is now your wife.
Yes.
And then in 2007 is when you started the station, or 2017?
No, we started the station in 2010.
2010.
The very first one, the little tiny one. In 2017, we opened the station in the corner that we have right now.
Right.
In Beacon Hill.
Right.
And then right now we're opening our second location. Let's say third location, because it's the small little one, then the big one that we have, and then the third one, which is Columbia City.
Right.
But I will be having just two locations right now. So Beacon Hill and Columbia City.
Right.
And both of them are basically copy and paste. They're right in the corner. They look very similar because I want to do the same layout and everything.
Right.
Because that's what my customers are used to, my employees are used to, and my community. So.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, and it reminds me of Starbucks,
Yeah.
You being in Seattle and running a coffee business in Seattle, where Starbucks started.
Right.
I want you to talk about the kind of pressure that you feel, because your biggest competitor is actually the biggest in the industry globally, you know. But also, Starbucks is where Boeing started.
Right.
Starbucks is where Amazon started.
Right.
So for an entrepreneur, you are comparing yourself to these giants, Wow.
I couldn't compare myself to them, right? They're just beyond powerful.
Right.
The only thing I can say that, we can come out with a better, money wise, capital wise, we can never compare, right? They're one of a kind.
Right.
The only thing, like I say, you can do is what are you bringing different to the table?
Right.
What kind of flavors? What kind of anything, energy you're bringing? For me is, compared to them, my customers are my community. They're my people. They're people who I want to know. Big corporations, I feel like they're just numbers. We are just numbers, like,
100%.
So for me, it's like every person that walks into my doors, I want to know them. I want to know like their story. I want to know who they are. I want them to walk in through those doors with like, some type of feeling and leave through the door with like a happiness,
Right.
I know that a lot of people come to the station and they're, Seattle it's not like the most beautiful weather. It's a beautiful city. I love like this is home for me, right? But it's not like the most beautiful weather place, right? When it's pretty, it's pretty. But when it's not, it's not. Like a couple of days ago, we had hail, snow, rain, and then you got sunny, and like it was just very bipolar weather, right? And people were inside the station just happy, right? So like that to me, like we were all inside looking outside like what's happening outside, but like super happy inside. The music was loud and everybody's having a good time, and it was like two different worlds, inside the station and outside. So that to me brings me a lot of joy to know that my community are safe in my place and they're enjoying their time.
I love that. So as an entrepreneur, especially a BIPOC entrepreneur, moving far away from your family, coming and establishing yourself in Seattle, it's not only you and me who are trying to build legacy for our families, for our kids, through our businesses and what we are passionate about. There's a younger Luis somewhere in Seattle right now. There's a younger Simon somewhere in Seattle right now, and hopefully watching the show right now. What are some of the challenges that you faced during your growth as an entrepreneur or a business owner, and how would you advise maybe just one challenge that is profound when you look back, and how, if you look back at that time, you'd advise whoever is watching to avoid such situations? Some are unavoidable, like
I mean, unfortunately for a lot of people, is capital, man. Seattle is so expensive, and everything's so expensive, and it's getting more and more expensive. So it is pretty heartbreaking to know that capital stops you,
man.
Like right now we're opening this second location, and I have spent over $400,000.
Wow.
That's more money than I ever thought that I would ever spend, right? For a business. But it's understanding that in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'll make that back and plus, right? So it's an investment that you have to do. Understand that, or you can completely lose it all. You know. It's a risk that you do. Like I believe that, and I wrote this the other day on social media about we're one of a kind, man. Like business owners we're crazy people. We're like we are, man. We're willing to risk it all. We are willing to risk it all.
Speaking about me, just everything you're saying is, keep going.
No, it's that. You're willing to risk it all just to find your true happiness. And my true happiness is not working for nobody. Like I work for you guys, which you guys are my customers, so I'm working for you. But I don't have to answer like somebody on top. My wife and I are the owners. She's my boss, let's say, but we have a very mutual understanding. And we coexist the way we work, and we are like, that's like my best business partner I can ever have. But opening a business is risky.
So risky, man.
So like you can, like right now, like I say, I'm over $400,000 and I can lose it all. And there goes.
And you have to be okay with that.
Right?
You have to be, and that's what American education does not prepare people for.
Right.
A lot of people go to school here being prepared to be employed.
Yes.
But it doesn't prepare you to not be afraid to make mistakes, to not be afraid to take risks, And I just appreciate everything you just said, Also when you think about the work that you do, with the station, it involves a lot of collaboration with the community, with other business partners, and I recently saw your picture with two other brothers that I have a lot of love and respect for. Solomon from Cafe Avol.
My boy.
And, Ephraim from Bunbuna.
Yeah.
These are your competitors,
Yeah.
And I saw you guys together, and I love that, I want you to speak about the value of collaborating with, people that are also in the same journey as you.
Right.
For a moment, I want you to speak to that, just the value of collaboration instead of always just being insecure and fighting and just feeling like you have to compete all the time.
Right. No, well, I mean, we're trying to change the narrative, right? The narrative is to change the competition. There's no competition, man. My father used to tell me a long time ago, my father was a really wise human being. And I am very thankful for, the father that I was given, right?
Mm-hmm.
He used to say, obviously, this whole conversation was in Spanish, but the word was "el sol sale para todos," which means the sun comes out for everyone. So the sun shines, for everyone. So for you to believe that like your business should be the only one, it's irrational. It's not, so for me, competition can be like a way of like, if you want to grow and be better, but for me is how can we be, for me it's like community, right? If I have another coffee shop, I want to collaborate, like you said, with you, because I want to like learn like the mistakes that I did. If I go to your coffee shop, I'm not there to like scope on your place. I want to be like, whoa, like, yo, like, Ephraim, that's such a great idea. I never thought about this being here, like the sink being there. Like, whoa, that will save me so much more time, the efficiency, like the way he treats his employees, the way he, like all of those things. Those are things that we can learn as business owners instead of competing, right? So if I go to your business and I go, yo, like, why is the line so like all the way outside the doors and mine are not? He's doing something very nice. He's doing something different than me. Like, what can I learn? I don't want to copy him, but I want to like learn, or maybe like, like everything is been done under the sun, right? So nothing is new.
Yeah.
But you can learn some stuff from them and like bring your own twist. So competition should like we should get rid of that old mentality. That's something that like our parents or other people used to do. I mean, it still exists, right? But I know that if I have you as a coffee shop 2 blocks away from me, and I run out of cups, I want to go to you and say, hey, Ephraim, can I borrow some cups, my guy? Like, we run out of cups. Hey, Solomon, we don't have no sugar. Can I borrow some sugar? And he's going to be like, of course, my guy, take some. Like, there's no competition in there. It's like the old, like back in the days when there was community, right? It's like, how can we help each other? How can they, or like, yo, like one of my employees didn't show up. There's any way I can call one of your employees? I mean, imagine that. How cool would that be, right? That you can just call, like today you called me and say, or yesterday you called me and say, hey, can you? I was like, yeah, my guy, of course, right? It's going to help my brand. It's going to help my business. It's going to help your business, and it's something that we've been talking about it. So I think that it's very, very important to have community and to get rid of that mentality of competition.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
there's enough for everyone. Even if it was left for you alone, you can't finish it,
Right.
Yeah, you can't finish it. So one of the things I know that you do a lot is events,
Right.
You do a lot of events at the station, but also you do a lot of, you show up for people.
Right.
You've showed up at a lot of my events, and it's one of the things that I deeply, deeply appreciate you
Thank
for, But I also see you do that for other people. In fact, there's an African, a West African cuisine business. It's called Chop Chop.
Uh-huh.
They had an event recently, and the wife of the business owner said, look, I think that's the guy from the station.
Right. Of course, man. Like, it's very important. Again, community, man. Like, without community, we won't have our places open, right? Without the neighborhood, that you live in, Like I said, I don't want to see my community, my customers as numbers. I want to see them as who they are, you know, right?
Yeah.
And also, like, a lot of the people, they this is funny, because I'm always out and people always think that I'm partying, and I do. Like, what is the famous phrase, like, do something that you love or something like that. Do something that you love, so it doesn't feel like you're working, right? So for me, is very important to learn how to network. So my network is me. I'm the business. I'm not saying that my wife and my kids are not, like, they represent the station as well, right? But my wife is very, like, I'm very what is the word, introvert. She's very introvert. I'm very extrovert.
Right.
So I'm always out, you know.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's very important to go to places and support them. If I want them to come and support me, I also, like, I'm my own network. This is my face,
it's the face of your brand, your
right,
business.
That's right. So I have to go to places, and when you see me, so, like, you're not the only one that sees me. A lot of people, you know. I named myself a long time ago. You know, one thing that I learned a long time ago is that people say, name yourself something that you want people to remember you by, right? So my Instagram account is called the Station Boss Man. So some people will forget your name, but they'll be like, the Boss Man.
Yeah.
The Station Boss Man.
Yeah.
So, like, when I go to places and people don't remember my name, which is Luis, they'll be like, the Boss Man. And other people will turn around and like, who's the Boss Man? Boss Man. So, like, your brand, everybody's like, yo, the Boss Man just walked in.
Yeah.
And then everybody thinks that I'm some type of, like, huge boss man entrepreneur, right? But that's why you name yourself. So, like, if you want people to treat you like a boss, you got to treat yourself like a boss.
That's so
right?
true, man. That's so true.
So that for me is very important to me to be part of places and going to support all of these new places and places who are struggling or anything. I'm out there supporting and putting my face, so people be like, yo, like, this guy is, like, he's the real deal, right? I can go to, you know, like, sometimes I like a restaurant and I go to that restaurant a lot because that's what I like. But sometimes I go to places that I never had some type of food, then I'm like, let's try it. And you'll be surprised when you go and try these places that you were not, it was like out of your element, let's say, and you try it and you're like, wow, I am so impressed with this food. Right now, I'm on this Filipino phase of, you know, like, I've been eating Filipino food for the past 5 years, let's say, and I'm in love with the food. I mean, Mexican has amazing food, right? African have amazing food, but Filipino right now is like the new thing that, and, you know, like, they say that then here in America, the next the big cuisines will be like Filipino and Peruvian food in the future, like the way Chinese food and Mexican food and Italian food and Thai food are, right? That's like the next big thing, you know, the next wave. And I love those two. Like, I love Peruvian food and I love Filipino food right now. So anyway, so I'm always out there supporting and making sure that I'm like, this, you know, I'm here to support you, you know?
Yeah, I love that. So think about 3 tips that you can give anybody who's thinking of organizing an event. A lot of people see that Madaraka Festival has been going on for 10 years and they're asking me, Simon, how have you done it? And a lot of these people are also event organizers. Some are DJs, some are organizing weddings, but the process is the same, you know? Right. So think about 3 tips, but for now, I want you to look at this camera behind me. Do you see that camera?
Where is it?
Right here.
That one, right there, yeah.
And just say your name.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is Luis Rodriguez, and you're watching Madaraka Podcast. Please subscribe.
All right. Hey everybody, my name is Luis Rodriguez, owner of the station. You guys are listening to Madaraka right now. Please subscribe. Here we are.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So a lot of people are organizing events from birthday to pop-ups, you know, to Madaraka level production. But it's the same concept. You know, you have to plan, you have to advertise, you have to market, you have to involve the community, you have to hire artists, you have to hire chefs, you have to, you know, do almost the same thing. but it freaks people out if you've not done it before.
Right.
But you interact with a lot of event organizers. You organize events of your own. You attend so many events. Give the people who are watching, who are most interested in event production skills, 3 tips.
Man, I mean, to do that, I mean, obviously it takes more than 3 tips, right? Like it's such a big event, or such a big thing to do. Definitely you need to do your like study of what you're doing, right? Do your research of what you want to do. But for me, definitely network is very important. Networking is very, and it's funny because networking, you know, is like the new language that we're using right now. Network. Like network for me is like putting your face out there, talking to other people, building a community of people who have done that already, right? So like, how do you network with these people who have more experience than you? So like, learn from these people, network with these people. Marketing. If you have these, you're gonna do this event, market. Talk to, again, people who do marketing. So how can you drop the message? How can people know that this event is happening? Where do you market? Where do you do? Before, back in the days, was word of the mouth, right? So word of the mouth still happens within like older folks, right? Now it's right here in our phones, right? We have social media. So get to know the people who can help you with that marketing, right? So marketing, network, and probably the third one, maybe most important, maybe, is like, for me, will be like a business, right? Know what you're selling. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's a lot of events everywhere, right? What are you going to bring something new, different to the table? You know, why are people should come to you? You know, what is your ideas that you're bringing? You know, what are you, again, coffee shops are many. Why do you want people to come and support your coffee shop? You know, why do you want people to come and listen to this band that you're bringing? You know, so you have to have some ideas, network, and marketing. You know, which is almost all tied together the same, right? But and you know, learning where you want to do it, like in food, in restaurants, is location, right? It's location. Same with music. Where are you going to put this event? Sometimes people won't go to a place because they're like, I don't go there. Like, that's so far away. Yeah. So like, you have to do location, part of the marketing, and part of the network. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. When you think about location, you also think about parking. Where is there parking at that location? Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Man, I really, really thank you. And for our viewers, those who are joining us here on YouTube, I hope you've already subscribed to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. And leave your comment down below. You know, what part of our conversation with my brother Luis inspired you today. I just want to thank you again for making the time on short notice. And I'm really, really inspired by your work and your story. And I hope we can have you back when you open the new location.
Oh, listen, we're weeks away. We're weeks away. Hopefully, like I say, the station, Beacon Hill, and the new one, the station, Columbia City.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
Come see us.
Thank you, brother.
I cannot wait to have this in there.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. By the way, what's your social media handle? You can say it there so that those who are watching can follow you on social media.
Thank you. Well, so our business is called the Station Coffee Shop, and we are the Station Coffee Shop on Instagram, the Station Coffee Shop Facebook, and I think the Station Cafe on Twitter.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's the coffee shop. Mine is the Station Boss Man. You know?
Excellent.
I'm the boss man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, boss man.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for everything.